Let's talk about finding a teaching job in China in 2026. More specifically, I want to talk about what the job market looks like now in summer of 2026, because from my personal experience, it is not the same market that many of us remember from a few years ago. I'm not talking about one specific school or one specific employer. This is just my personal view of the teaching job market in China in 2026, based on my own job search, conversations with other teachers, and public market reports. The first thing that I noticed is that many schools are shrinking. This is not only my personal feeling. There are broader signs that the international and bilingual schools market in China and in East Asia in general has slowed down. ISC research, which tracks the international school market, described East Asia's international school market as stalling, with falling growth rates in both school numbers and student enrollment numbers. I have also seen examples around me. Campuses closing, schools merging, and staff being moved or looking for new positions. I also met several teachers from schools in Shanghai who lost their positions or were not renewed, and these were not weak candidates. Many of them were native speakers with good educational backgrounds and solid experience. So the picture is more complicated than it used to be. It does not mean that there are no jobs. There are still jobs, but the market has clearly changed. Schools are more careful. Some are reducing staff, some are combining positions, some are waiting to see how many students they will actually have before making final hiring decisions. Before, especially during COVID, it was honestly easy as pie. If you were already in China and had experience and had your documents ready, you were in a very strong position. At that time, teachers could often negotiate much more confidently. If you wanted, you could ask for a high salary within reason, of course, and schools were often willing to meet those expectations. In my own case, I raised my salary quite significantly during that period, but I did not do it just because I wanted to exploit the situation. At one point, I did not have a PGC, then I invested a lot of time and money and energy into getting one, so when I asked for a significant raise, I had a reason for it, and it worked. But now in 2026, the situation is different. Schools take longer to reply, they compare candidates, they sometimes interview you and then disappear for a while. Sometimes they like you, but they still need to wait for approval from management. Sometimes they are not sure if they can afford the position at all. So if you are looking for a teaching job now and you feel that everything is moving slowly, you are probably not imagining it. The market really is slower and more competitive. The third point is websites versus agents. During my job search, I tried several websites with job listings. I uploaded my CV, sent messages, applied for positions that looked interesting, and waited. But according to my own observation, a large percentage of my applications were not even seen. I would say maybe around 60% of my messages were not opened or did not receive any visible reaction. And then I started to understand that many jobs on these websites are not posted directly by schools. They are often posted by agencies or headhunters. Sometimes the same job appears on different platforms. Sometimes the information is not very clear. Sometimes the job may already be old. Still, websites are useful. They help you understand what is available, what kind of salary ranges schools are offering, and which cities are hiring. But in my case, agents were much more effective. Several agents contacted me after seeing my CV and experience. I worked closely with two of them, and one of them found me a job in about 2 weeks. But before that happened, it took me around 3 weeks just to get noticed by the right person. So in my opinion, if you are not using one of the big paid job platforms, then part of the process is luck and part of it is how strong your CV is. That being said, even paid websites are not magic. I know people who use famous paid websites, and they also say that sometimes they apply and get no feedback at all. In my case, there was another difficulty. I am from Russia. For many schools and agents, the priority is usually teachers from English-speaking countries: the US, the UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, and South Africa. So being from Russia adds another layer of difficulty, especially if you are trying to get into a top-tier school. It does not mean it is impossible, but it means you need to have something else that makes your profile stronger. Salary expectations are also changing. A few years ago, especially during COVID and shortly after, salaries could be quite high. Schools needed teachers, and teachers already in China had a lot of negotiating power. Now, because of the economy, shrinking students' numbers, and stronger competition, many schools are more conservative with salary offers. In my own case, compared with what I could expect a few years ago, the package I accepted is about 15% lower. This is a noticeable difference. And it is not only about the salary itself. Benefits are also getting weaker. When I looked at job posts in different groups, especially for bilingual schools, public schools, and kindergartens, the salary ranges are often much lower than before. But on top of that, the benefits are also not as strong as they used to be. For example, I recently saw a housing allowance of 2,000 RMB for Shenzhen. Of course, it depends on where exactly you live. Maybe if you live far away from the center or you share an apartment, it can help. But for Shenzhen, 2,000 RMB does not look realistic to me as proper housing support. It may cover only a part of your rent, not the actual cost of living comfortably. I also noticed that some return tickets reimbursement limits are lower than before. Some schools offer less support for flights, housing, relocation, or other benefits that used to make the package more attractive. So my advice here is simple. Do not look only at the salary number. Look at the full package. Is there a housing allowance? Is it realistic for that city? Is tax included or not? How many teaching hours do you have? How many office hours? Is there insurance? Flight allowance? Summer and winter holiday pay? Is the visa support reliable? Is the school stable? A salary can look okay on paper, but after rent, tax, transport, food, and daily living costs, it may not be as strong as it seems. The final point is how to stand out. In 2026, I think the bare minimum is not enough anymore. A bachelor's degree, some teaching experience, and a basic certificate may get you into the market, but they may not make you stand out. With only the bare minimum, you may look like another average candidate on the market. Education matters, certification matters, experience matters. In my case, my PGCE helped me a lot. I also have a master's degree, many years of teaching experience, and experience in international IB schools. That combination makes my profile stronger. And I think this is very important now. Even if you are a native speaker, you still need to show that you are a serious teacher, not just someone who speaks English. If you are not a native speaker, then your qualifications, teaching background, subject experience, and professionalism become even more important. So my advice is keep improving yourself, get proper teaching qualifications, study new things, build a strong portfolio, collect examples of your work, show student projects, performances, exhibitions, curriculum planning, school events, clubs, anything that proves you being value to a school. You need to show not only that you can teach a class, but that you can contribute to the school, because the market is harder now. Schools are more selective, and if you want a good job, especially in a good school, you need to show why they should choose you. So the conclusion is this: finding a teaching job in China in 2026 is still possible. Good jobs still exist, but the market is no longer easy. You need to be prepared, realistic and professional, and you need to have something in your profile that makes you stand out. If you want to hear more about teaching and living in China, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, give me a like and support. I'll see you in the next one.
Stop, drop, roll, bodies on the floor, I'm out of control, it's about to blow, this year ain't for show, never kept it on the low,